This is part two of exception handling. We're just going to move on straight along to using a class, using objects for exception handling. This one is a printer class. I'm going to make an object called printer. All right. This, if you think about this in terms of networking, there's lots of printers around campus. This is basically the printer you're going to use. All right. Um, it's just a one object. All right. It's got two private variables, the name, which any computer on campus is going to have, and it's going to have a second variable, an integer variable um, called paper available. So you can monitor whether you have enough paper to complete a print. All right. We've got a constructor. The constructor actually sets up the name and the number of pages initially in the printer. So it's basically like just setting up your printer. All right, I'm going to send it the name of a certain printer, and then I'm going to send it the pages. So basic constructor. And this class has one function, and that one function is a print function. We're going to send it a string to print out. Okay, for the purposes of this, you kind of got to use your imagination. You might want to think of this as it's very large font. It's 96 font to 120 font. You can only handle 5 letters per page. Okay, very large font. You can only handle 5 letters per page. So I'm going to send it, just going to send it my name. I'm going to send it a string to print out Jim Martis. All right. The first line is going to check the length of the text that I sent it. All right, the string that I sent it. So just let's see. Suppose I sent it. I didn't send it my name. I just sent it something 10 characters long. It's going to divide by 5 and determine that it needs 2 pieces of paper for this print to be completed. All right. So all this first line does is assign a variable. Assign the amount of paper needed for this print. Then it's going to check and see if the paper available is enough for the required paper. So up here, we needed 2 pieces of paper. If we initially start out with 8, it compares. And if for some reason we don't have enough paper for it, it's going to throw the exception, not enough paper. Now, if you notice, I've got throw, not enough paper. You can throw anything. In our previous program, in the last video, I think I threw an error number, 999, if you remember. This one, I'm throwing not enough paper because of the comparison to the line before it. That's the error I'm throwing. I'm throwing not enough paper. Okay, next, I'm going to see out now printing. Then it's going to print out whatever text I sent it. If I sent it Jim Martis, it's going to print out Jim Martis. Then it's going to update the paper, the initial value from the constructor. It's going to subtract the required paper, and that's going to be the paper available. And then I'm actually going to see that out just so I can monitor it. Very short main. All right. I'm creating an object called myPrinter. The name of it's going to be Teacher Workroom HP 1280. And it's going to have 10 pieces of paper in it. So that's just me using my constructor to make the object and to give it the correct information. All right, now I'm going to hit print. The text that I'm going to send it is just CIS 115 syllabus. That's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 characters long. So I'm sending it CIS 115. Let's go up to the print function and watch this. CIS 115 goes in. text.length, all right, it divides by 5. It decides it needs 3 pieces of paper. So required paper becomes 3. Required paper is less than the 10 that I set up from the constructor. So that's plenty of paper. It does not, this is false. It skips past that. Now printing, it'll print out CIS 115. It'll take the 10 initial pieces of paper minus the 3 required and assign it back to paper available. So now we have 7 pieces of paper left. And in this last line, I just see that out. Run this. There you go. Now printing CIS 115 syllabus. Paper left 7. All righty. I'm going to test this again. I'm going to invoke this twice. Run it. Pages left 4. It's working fine. See where this is going? Okay, I've got 1 piece of paper left. You know, if I print this again, something's going to happen. So I will. All right. Run it again. All right. This exception unhandled. All right. It's unhandled because up here I said throw an exception. Otherwise, if I didn't have this throw in it, it probably just, well, not probably, it would have just went to -2 and it would have, we could have did this infinitely, in an infinite amount of times. All right. So let's get rid of the error. All right. Now we got to do something to fix this. We got to handle that error. We're going to make a try block right here. Anytime that you've got a try block, just go ahead immediately and put a catch block right behind it. All right, this time we're going to send this a constant character int, basically a pointer to the front. All right, so let's go back to the try block first. All right, it's going to try 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to try all 4 of these. Then the catch, constant char pointer to text, right? It's the text that we're going to send it. It's basically this text here. This throw is going to be thrown down here. So this text, and this doesn't have to be text. You saw in the last one, it's a number. This one, not enough paper, is the text that we're talking about here. All right, inside of here, we're just going to put exception. Then the text that this function accepted. When I say function, it's catch function. I don't even know if that's proper, but the actual catch part is being provided a text from the throw, a string from the throw. All right. So this first one's going to print fine. The second one's going to print fine. The third one's going to print fine. This third one, if we go up to the print function, we're going to see it's not going to be enough paper. it's going to throw not enough paper. You threw it up there and you catch it right here. You saw that I threw a string. Down here, I catch basically a pointer to a string. Right? Then it's going to see out exception, and then my programmer defined exception right here, which I could have made a number, I could have made it anything, but I've made it not enough paper. So I'm going to run this. So you can see the 7, 4, 1, and instead of getting an error here, all right, it purred just the program purred along and it's fine, not enough paper. Okay, because I put everything in, I'll put all of this in a try block. Immediately after it, I used a catch block, right? I threw it up here when it didn't meet this condition. And that's what you have to remember. Inside of this call, all right, it called the print function, all right? And inside of this print function, it threw the exception, not enough paper, and then I caught it right here. This is the catch, okay? And you can see I threw it a string. I caught it here, a pointer to a string. Then I see, my output was exception, just a regular cout, and then the text that I had received from the throw. I would suggest I'm pretty sure that most of you don't type in this, but this would actually be worth your time to type in and just test. You can see it's not much text there, but give this a try. You can even shorten the numbers where you don't have to type as much. But this is what we're going to be working with on Monday night, and you will be working again with Dr. Zimmer on Wednesday night. Okay, exceptions. Try, throw, catch. Guys, when I start open up the class, if you have any questions on this, wish y'all would ask questions. If y'all have any questions on this, I'll do my best to answer them. Most of this this isn't a rocket science, but it's a little bit confusing. And I think the more that you deal with this, the more you'll see the need for this. You don't want the system catching errors. You want to catch the errors. And some things even happen outside of validation, right? This is just a more sophisticated way to make sure that you're handling errors correctly. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.